Einen schönen guten Tag, herzlich willkommen hier von der Rocket Beans und Expert-Bühne auf der Gamescom 2016. Und ich habe jetzt hier die große Freude, I have the great pleasure, to introduce you, euch jemanden vorzustellen. Ihr Name ist Bio. Und sie hat gesagt, sie heißt, oder call me Bio, because the complete name is a little bit too different for me to pronounce. Bio, you are the Game Mode Designer for Honor. Ein neues Spiel von Ubisoft, in dem es um sehr viel Schwertkampf geht. Und bevor wir jetzt hier wirklich, before we go into detail, we will show you the trailer. Wir zeigen euch jetzt nochmal den Trailer zu For Honor, der neue Gamescom-Trailer. Bitte schön abfahren.
The world fears us. We are the favored of the gods. We plunder new lands. We raid and we grow strong. We live for battle, ready to die in glory.
Cast away from our land, we are rebuilding. Our hearts are strong, our devotion absolute, and our skill is beyond question. We will be remembered.
We are the guardians of our people. We stand strong against all invaders. Duty is our shield, order our weapon. When we defend the weak, we are immortal.
Relax, my beloved, don't worry for me. Don't shed a tear for me, always be near for me. You know these walls, they may fall down. Their eyes are dead, you'd imagine me too.
We all have to die. Huh?
At some point, yes.
At some point. Yeah. So, you are the game mode developer. That means basically you did what?
So the 5 game modes that are in PvP and For Honor, which is Skirmish, Elimination, Brawl, Duel, and Dominion. I designed them, the rules, I balanced them, and I'm responsible for all the playtests and implementation of those 5 modes.
And when you start creating For Honor, what was the main goal? What was the first, the first idea to get into the game?
The idea came from Jason, our creative director. He was actually taking German longsword classes because he's a huge nerd. And he was coming back from his classes and he just had the idea that the 3 stances that are really important in German longsword would really fit well on a controller, especially on a stick. So later on, he pitched that idea to a team of programmers that we have in Ubisoft that's called the Fox team, which is basically some more elite programmers, and they liked the idea, and the game just was born from this. So really, every time we create a new feature, we want to make sure that it showcases what we call the art of battle, which is that idea of matching the position of your hero with the position of your right stick. So there's really a link that's very physical between whatever you do with the controller and whatever your hero is going to do on the screen.
And was it right away from the beginning clear that you implement something like, or that you implement your system which is based, like I would say, tic-tac-toe?
Whenever you're gonna play, the 3 stances are really the core of it, but there's a lot to add over the 3 stances. each of the 12 heroes has a lot of different abilities. You can grab people, dodge around, you can push them, you can displace them. They have special attacks. Everything you saw in the trailer are actually moves you can do because it's all in-game footage. So all those twists and displacement and moving around and pulling someone and pulling him in the back, this is all things you can do. So it's really deeper than tic-tac-toe.
But when I first played it last year, I had also an interview with Jason, and he told me he's a great fan of Conan, and he wanted to have this experience of Conan into the game. Is this something you could relate to, or was it, I don't know, really brings up some question marks? What does he want from us?
It's a great reference actually because everything in For Honor is inspired from historical elements, but bring to the level of legends. It's whatever you can imagine about the Viking, the samurai, and the knights. It's not what they actually were historically. They never fought each other, and you're a little bit more badass than they were actually. But really the same idea can be told about Conan, is that it's something that's close to fantasy. Well, in the second one is like pure on fantasy. But while straying away, we're not a fantasy game, but we are in the realm of legends. We are in the realm of emotions more than realism. Even if every move that you see and do in For Honor has been mocap by a weapon master, a martial artist, still we want to make it to the next level so that the gameplay makes you feel like an elite warrior, like a legend.
And is this why you implemented also this, I would say, minions, creeps, knights, that you can slay them and feel good about it?
Yeah, the soldiers that you can see in the Dominion mode are extremely important, yes, to make you... They're small, huh?
Yeah.
You're like 1 or 2 feet high, taller than them. They make you feel good, but also they are an interesting tool that you can use. They can break the chase. If someone is chasing after you, your soldier will let you pass and close the gap behind you. You can heal with some of the special abilities. Some hero can heal when they kill them. And just pushing those soldiers, because you need to push your army in enemy territory to win points, feels really good, because even though you're an elite warrior, you're still part of a grand battle. And it's important to us to convey that fantasy, that you're not alone in the world. You are part of a war. And that war is going on around you, even though you are most of the more elite warrior of your faction.
Yeah. Maybe we have some B-roll footage you brought us. Maybe we can show something of the skills or of the fighting system we see. Oh, yeah.
So this is a game of Dominion, actually, and you can see the soldiers we're mentioning. And in Dominion, you have to dominate the battlefield by controlling 3 control zones. 2 of them are zones like that. Whenever you stand in it, you will capture them. And the other one is the battle with the soldiers. Now you can see in a 2v1, looking at your opponent is extremely important. You can use the brand new revenge mechanic to be able to overcome situations where you have more enemies against you. You're making faces.
Because
Yeah.
I'm the gore guy, so
The executions are great, by the way, and those, you can customize them as well as your hero and select what execution you want to have for your specific hero, which is amazing. Each hero can be deeply customized, the armor, the weapon, the color, the engravings, the type of metal you're using. And the best thing is that each of those pieces of armor or weapon, you will actually win them after a game.
yeah. I saw now that we can change if you choose a character. You have the Viking, you have the knight, you have the samurai. And when I choose which armor he should have, you could choose between a bigger one and a smaller one in multiplayer.
The way it works, whenever you chose a character, is that you were actually choosing between the male or female version of that hero.
Okay, I was so eager to play the game, I didn't recognize it. Sorry.
Well, it was extremely important for us to have female warriors that feel realistic. They're not in bikini chainmail. They have full blades and they have the same stats as the male version of the hero. Because 6 of our heroes, we have 12 zeros in the game, and 6 of them can be either male or female. There's 3 that are always male and 3 that are always female. So that's it. So in the game, we have 50-50 representation of male and female characters.
Okay, and if a woman will fight a man or a man fight a woman, are there any advantages or?
No, the stats are exactly the same whenever a character can be one or the other. The hitbox is the same, everything is the same. It's really just an expression whenever you want to express yourself by selecting a male or the female version of the character. It has no gameplay impact whatsoever. And if you unlock a piece of armor for the male version, it's also unlocked for the female version.
And I played the game last year for the first time. You were on the Gamescom and I could, had a little look inside the multiplayer. Now, this year, you are back again, also with the multiplayer. Can you say what changes, what develops from this last year to this year? Is this too much, or can you?
Oh no, I really I like talking about that because these are my changes. It excites me a lot because last year, yes, we showed Dominion and we put it in the hands of player for the first time at E3 and Gamescom. And we received tons of feedbacks on the forums or live, and I was there. And I was doing the demos and I was listening to people and what they thought about the game. And we also had live periods in meanwhile. So all that feedback was super fertile for us to tweak the mode, and I changed a few things. We added the revenge, like I mentioned, which is really a mechanic to allow you to be able to fight multiple opponents and be able to like turn the table and win a fight or survive long enough for a friend to come and help you. And that was our number one feedback, that it was hard to fight 2v1. So we really wanted to give you a tool, but it's not something magical. You have to earn revenge. You have to block attacks. You have to survive long enough to earn the revenge. It's not just like, oh, okay, I win. Because For Honor still is a skill-based game. We have different types of skills that we want to showcase, like tactic, execution, but really it's a skill-based game. Other changes, I've added a revive mechanic, because at the end of the minion, we have what we call the breaking phase. Whenever you have 1,000 points, the enemy, they cannot respawn. And people were like, yeah, but I would like to revive my friends, you know? So we added that mechanic as well. I did tons of tweaks on the scoring. It took months. And I think we achieved something that feels great. So really there's some small things, some bigger things like completely new features, and really it's the feedback of players that allows us to bring the game further. And while I think about it, we have actually a closed alpha period that comes up September 15th. So if people can give me more data and more feedback, I'd like it. I read the forum myself and I crunch all those numbers, and it's my bread and butter. So please give me some data so I can actually do my job.
And now, for the first time, you also presented a single-player campaign. Last year, I cannot remember that anybody talks about.
It was a secret.
Okay. So it was developed behind closed doors?
Yeah, yeah. We've been developing it for a while now, but we wanted to wait for this year to show really what the single player can be and can do. It was also one of the most requested things. People wanted to know more about the world of For Honor, those characters that you will play or encounter. So we already plan to have a campaign and have something where you can see the world and understand why those 3 factions are fighting. Because For Honor is a game, like I said, of legends, so it's our own world. It's not based in reality. So the campaign allowed us to show you that world and make you travel behind the 3 factions and what they live and why they are at war.
So, and will there be a co-op mode in the single-player campaign also?
The single-player campaign is actually playable in co-op, yes, online or in split screen on consoles.
Ooh, this is
and
nice.
the multiplayer is also playable in split screen on consoles.
I like this game more and more. And how long? Can you say something about the length of the single player?
It really depends on the way you play, and we're still implementing on that. So it's a bit early to tell about the exact duration of the single player. But what's important to understand is the progression of your heroes. Whenever you play single player, multiplayer, or whatever, whenever you progress a hero, each hero progresses individually. So the Warden, the Orochi, the Berserker, they all have their own progression where you unlock feats, special abilities with XP, and also weapons, armor, everything. So leveling up all those characters would take forever. It's okay, I'm exaggerating, but it's hours and hours and hours of gameplay to really get into the depth of all those characters and unlock all the options for them. So you really have more than enough time to put into the game. Personally, I think I'm going to pick a few favorites and not try to level them all up because it's too much time. That it's great to be able to pick a hero and really go deeper in it and dwell as deep as you want. But of course, whenever you buy the game, all the heroes are unlocked, all the modes are unlocked. It's not a pay-per-feature game. You really get everything from the single-player campaign or co-op campaign and multiplayer games, all the heroes. You just have to unlock the gear, the different player expression through your own progression.
But you cannot use your single-player campaign character in the multiplayer, or can you?
There's links between the two. It's not exactly the same thing, but there's some things that will be transferred from one and the other.
So something I achieve in the single player, I can use in the multiplayer?
It's hard for me to give details without spoiling how the campaign works, and I'm thinking
Let's have a look at the
something
officials.
secret.
Okay, you made this. Which is your favorite character?
It's the Berserker. He's the assassin from the Viking faction. He has 2 axes and an infinite chain because each hero has different combos and moves. And this one, once you can jump on someone with your 2 axes, like, yeah, and then you can do an infinite chain. I like him. I call him the Wolverines, like, yeah. And then you go back, and then you.
And I heard about something that also in the multiplayer are some boss enemies or some not non-player characters which are a little bit stronger than others.
In multiplayer, there's soldiers and then there's hero, but there's no boss. There's boss in the single-player campaign for sure, but not in multiplayer because we really wanted the player to shine strongly. However, you can play all the modes against AIs, bots. And the highest difficulty of bots is really, really, really tough. The guy in the AI team did a really great job. So sometimes when I play a new character that I don't play really often, I like to look at the AI and see what the perfect Lawbringer, which is a guy with a big halberd, what the perfect Lawbringer is, so I can actually learn for the character and learn to play against him. So it's really useful to train and learn the new heroes and learn the mode deeply. But there's no boss in the multiplayer modes.
And are there plans to implement some or to bring up some new characters later as a DLC or something like this?
Of course, we will support the game after launch, especially for tweaks and maintaining the community. But as for DLC, we're really focused right now on what's going to be in the main game. We're still a few months away from launch, so we're going to finish the game and then after see what we do afterward. One thing is important to say is that we ship all the content that we have into the game.
And let's say we fight against each other in the multiplayer.
You will lose.
I will lose?
Yes.
Okay. Because of what?
Sorry. I've been working on that game for years, so...
Yeah. But the tactics or the technique are very user-friendly, I would say. So is there a slight chance, maybe a slight chance, that I, a newbie to the game, would slay you down?
There is a chance. But even if the game is really accessible, like you say, the main idea is really accessible. But there's a lot of details and depth into the different combos, the different actions that you can do, and even the positioning of your hero. If your back is against the wall, I will use that. I will throw you on the wall, you will get staggered, and I will hit you. So knowing the positioning of your enemy and yourself is extremely important. Is there a fire nearby? Is there a pit? Is there spikes? Am I higher up so I have a better vantage point for you? So are soldiers nearby? All things that you don't need to understand to play the game. But if you want to go deeper, it's really important. I can know your character very well and know that the chain will do this or that afterward and be able to counter it. So yes, the basics are straightforward for everyone, but there's a lot to learn to push deeper and deeper. And when I was designing modes, it was extremely important for me to be accessible to everyone, but to give occasions for the players that have higher skills to really shine and be almost unbeatable.
Okay, I sent you a friend request and let's give it a try.
Let's fight.
Bio, thank you very
Thank
much
you
for
very
being
much.
here. Ja, das war's. Das war unser kleiner Einblick in For Honor. Ich muss sagen, ich habe noch mehr Blut geleckt. Ich bin noch ein bisschen geiler drauf. Und ich freue mich, wenn das finale Spiel jetzt am Start ist, denn das ist irgendwie genau nach meinem Geschmack. Bio, thank you very much. Enjoy the conference and have a nice day. And hopefully see you
See you
next
on the
year.
battlefield.
Yeah, on the battlefield.
Thanks.
Thank you. Macht's gut.